Hey guys, we're on to the last part of the Revit project, your 3D modeling introduction. Let's get straight into it. Today, the focus is going to be creating sheets, okay? All right, I'm sharing my screen here with you guys. So the first part that you're going to know, so the idea here is, okay, you have a model, but what are models really used for, right? Models are used to extract information and deliver them as sheets, right? The reason that you guys were able to build this model was because you had these sheets with all the measurements and all the details for all the materials and everything that we use to create the model. And that's what the models serve in real life as well. They serve the purpose of being a place that where information can be extracted, that being architectural, like we're working on, or structural, mechanical, plumbing, electrical, right? So for the last part of the project here, it's going to be a little bit different. You guys are not going to need to submit your Revit because that was completely finished by last assignment. Now we're only going to submit sheets, and your write-up will also be on one of the sheets. So pay attention that you do that as well. When you're working on this assignment, follow the rubric really closely. It has all the details for everything that you need, and it even has reasons why you will lose points. So just keep an eye on that, and you'll be able to get 100. Okay. All right. So first of all, if we go to our project browser on the bottom left here and we scroll down, we're going to be able to see sheets all here. It might be closed. All you need to do is click on the plus sign here, and it's going to open sheets all. Now, when you open a Revit template, it already places sheets automatically on drawings. And to know if that's true or not, you look at these squares. If the squares are blue, that means that it's already on a sheet. If it's white, that means that it's not yet on a sheet. And Revit will complain at you if you try to put the same drawing on multiple sheets, and that's why we're going to duplicate some views, right? So if we look at sheets here, and we look at the floor plan, so we have A101 architectural floor plans. If we click on the plus sign, you see that the view that is inside this is the ground floor. So you can even double click on the ground floor to open it here. And if you double click on the sheet, you're going to see, okay, this is the sheet and our ground floor, right? The exact same thing is inside the sheet. Obviously, it looks too small, so let's fix that. When you're on the sheet, it's essentially one view. You're looking at the sheet and you can change the sheet. But if you hover over this area here, right, the inside, and it says viewports, title with line here, it's because of this guy. But as you can see, if you hover on the inside here, you get these really thick black lines. And if you double click it, you're now essentially working with the ground floor. Being here right now is the exact same thing as being in this view. You're working with the ground floor. The sheets is on the background. You can't hover over everything. You're only working on the ground floor itself, on the floor plan. If you want to go back to the sheets, you just double click outside of the zone. Okay, so that's how you navigate between inside and inside. Let's make this bigger because it needs to fit the sheet. Fit the sheet. Yes. Um, so we have the scale of 1/8 to a foot. Let's go all the way up to half. And then we can, if we double click outside again, we can then move this view. And you can also use the arrows. They're very useful for just like making smaller movements. But I think half here is a good size. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to double click inside as well. And this is nothing more than our prop region, okay? So you have this button that lets you hide it. We're going to keep it visible now. And what we're going to do is we're going to make it much smaller. So it only encompasses the floor plan that's visible, right? Because, for example, I just hit them here, but these views, which are our elevations, they're symbols that are within our view, right? If we go to ground floor, and actually it's the same thing. So, but these views, they're important because they give us our elevations, but they're not important for the sheet, and we don't actually need to see that symbol. So we're going to make that smaller, and we're going to double click out of it again, and look at that. Now it fits nicely within the sheet, but now our title is really far away. Now, this title will give a lot of people headaches if you don't pay attention now. So just pay attention because the way it moves is weird. So if you don't have anything selected, you can move it freely. If you are within the view, you can't touch it at all because it's part of the sheet. Okay, so if you're within the view, you can't move it at all. If you click outside of it, you can move it, but to change how big it is. So first of all, I'm going to put it nice here inside, right underneath the drawing. But I also want it to be a little bit longer so it encompasses, because I essentially want this to be a market that, okay, hey, everything above this is the first floor architectural plan, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the viewport. And when I click on it, I can change how big it is. Not when I get inside it, not when I select it, then I can't touch it again. I have to be outside and then just click it once. And now I can move the size. Okay. All right. Now we have the sheet here. Let's double click inside as well. And let's go ahead and hide the crop region. And if we click outside, now this looks like a proper sheet with the floor plan inside. Perfect. Um, let's make it more legible because even though it fits within the sheet, it's still kind of hard to see things. So first of all, again inside it, I'm going to change it from consistent colors to hidden line. Okay, this looks more familiar. Resembles a little bit better what we have here, and yours should essentially look like this. I'm using my I'm not using my complete model. I'm just using the model that I used to for the last video, but should essentially look like this. Now, one problem that we have is that all our measurements here are very small, okay? And that's because they're 3 30 seconds. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit edit type. I'm going to duplicate it, and it automatically makes it just a number 2. I know, I think it's going to be a 3/8. I'm just going to rename it 3/8. And if we scroll down here, you're going to see text. And within text, you have text size, and I'm going to change it here to 3/8. And this is based on my testing. You guys can go back and forth. But yeah, 3/8 looks fairly decent. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select everything. And then I'm going to use our filter here to check none, and then only check dimensions. And now that we only have dimensions checked, I'm going to change everything to the 3/8. And look at that, a little bit better. And you guys should have all the measurements, okay? These assignments are very straightforward in the fact that modeling is complicated. You guys are learning that, I understand. But once you have learned the measurements, you have the answer key, right? The drawing sheets that I have for you, this is the answer key. If you submit the sheet, a sheet that looks exactly like this, it has all the measurements and the measurements are the same, that's important. If your measurements are wrong, that means you modeled wrong, but you can still fix it. But if you submit the exact same measurements, it's 100. It's that simple. You have the answer key. All right. So please try to just look carefully for everything and just replicate it as it is. All right. Back to it. Measurements are correct size. And the floor plan is in line. Last thing for sheets here, for our floor plan sheets is the title block. Okay, so if you double click outside again and you go back to the sheet, you're gonna notice they have some fields here. If you click on the field, if you click on the sheet and then you click on the field, it lets you change it. So you guys should go ahead and put your names on everything, right? And this is gonna replicate it. This is gonna be replicated across everything. So off project name, I'm gonna write side office intro introductory. Wow. Let's see if that fits. It does. Yeah. So everybody should write your names and write the name of the assignment. And then for the name of the sheets and the number, I'm not too worried about the number because some of you are going to have different numbers based on if you make a new sheet or if you duplicate the sheet. But I do want the name of the sheet to be exactly as it is on the assignment here, right? So on the rubric, I have here perspective views. That's one sheet. Ground floor floor plan. That's another sheet. Flat roof floor plan. These are all these should all be the name of your sheets, okay? So just use these as the name of your sheets and then check everything that you need off of the rubric. All right. I'm not going to change it here because that's your job. But yeah, that's essentially it for sheets.